I would die for aesthetics, okay?
We all ego lifted for a little bit.
We are the one allowing the people to use us.
For me, a lot of my toxic patterns were when I wasn't able to fully grasp that concept.
You'll never grow muscle.
This isn't serving my purpose.
I was doing like a bit of Pilates at home. Hello, welcome. I'm Vayan. I'm based in Paris, France, and today I have the pleasure to be with Giselle.
Hello, I'm based in Arizona. We're both baby bodybuilders, some more experienced than others.
Today, we're gonna talk about being a woman, being a gym girly, being also someone that has feelings and so on. So that's just a chit-chat conversation, and I'm so happy that you are here with us today. We prepared a few questions. The first one was basically introducing ourselves, who we are, what's our relationship to the gym and to sports. So I'll let you dive in first.
Thank you. I got into weightlifting when I was in high school. I was raised really religious. I was not allowed to do sports. So I kind of just dove into the weight training at my school. And ever since then, it's just been a passion of mine, seeing how one can actually transform their body, their confidence through the gym, and been very inspiring for me to complete that circle in my life and to help other people now transform their bodies, their lives. I do personal training, but I've been doing that for years now, and now I'm just transitioning into doing my own.
So good. Would you mind sharing with us how old are you? Just so we have an idea of how long you've been practicing.
I think I was like 16, 15 around there, and then transitioned by myself more when I was 21. Took some time off, we all ego lifted for a little bit and then figured things out as we grew up. But what about you? What got you started into the gym?
At the gym, it's been like 3 years ago. When I was a kid, so I'm 32. When I was a kid, I was swimming a lot, did a bit of competition, but like super young before I was 10 years old. And after that, I did a bit of boxing as well, like English boxing. And then I quitted doing any sports. I think I was doing like a bit of Pilates at home. That's such a joke to me right now. After that, when I was 29, I was thinking like, okay, girl, you've been slim all your life, but it's not gonna last forever. I decided to start hitting the gym very fast. I got into powerlifting because I was watching at these girls on Instagram and they were just like super girly, wearing all pink and lifting like heavy barbells. And I was just like, this is dope. I want to do that. So I started like that. And I think I really got into bodybuilding. I think it was a year and a half ago, where I decided that all my gym practice is gonna be exclusively bodybuilding. And currently, I'm preparing my first competition next year. I hope so. But this is the current goal, and I want to compete as a bikini girly for now and figure one day when I'll build enough.
It's amazing because your physique does not look like you just started a few short years ago.
Yeah, so it's for the people who want to see like this is the physique we're talking
Yeah.
about. I don't know if we can like, oh, wait.
There you go. That's
Yeah,
a lot of
so
muscle to have put on in I think.
but I think like the real key to it is nutrition because you can be lifting for years. Well, there are two main keys for me. The first is intensity because if you never go close to failure, if you don't go out of your comfort zone, well, you'll never grow muscle. And also, eating enough protein is such a big deal, really is. And that's so overlooked by many people.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people kind of skip over nutrition and I just need a great workout. I just need a great workout. Give me a trainer, but they don't like get the nutrition. They're like, why am I not seeing the results? But everybody knows abs are made in the kitchen, but we don't actually process that until unfortunately it's like it's too lit. We're very far in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like some of my clients they just take the workout part and I'm just like, yeah, all right. And I always told in the beginning, like, there is a part to nutrition. We can go like, I don't give you a plan, I just help you like understand and so on. And just like, no, I don't need that. Well, 2, 3 months after, all of them they come back and they say, hey, can you help me on this, please? It's like,
Mhm.
Super glad we talked about our relationship to sports. Second topic we wanted to have today. I don't know where this is going, but like I live in France, you live in the USA. I've been lucky enough to be able to come to the US and to train with some people there and to have a glimpse at the fitness scene in here. And I really wanted us to have a little chat about how different it is between France and the USA. So I don't know how you see the fitness industry and what you have to say about it.
I'll be honest, I've only heard a few things about France fitness industry, but from what I understand is that it's pretty normal to be fit and to keep up with your health. I hear like even pasta is healthy. Is that true?
I don't think so. I think there is this image of the Parisian girl with like brunette, smoking cigarettes in terrace, drinking red wine and slim as That's a reality, but I think it's tied to like Paris being a city where many people have money. So the more money you have, the more you are taking care of your physique. Anyway, I think like people are getting fatter and fatter in France. That's a fact.
That
It's
part,
me.
yeah.
And I think also, well, it's funny because my vision of the US is like people are really into the thing, like the people who are into the fitness industry, they really are going very deep into that. And also, like, I think the important term here is industry, because in France, it's a lot about well-being and stuff like that. So Pilates girls again. where, where like in the US, I really see as an industry where like people are making it to business and stuff like that. In France, most people they just like go to the gym to take care, and the very few are just like, okay, I'm going all in. But that's so rare.
Wow. I'm surprised to hear that because, well, like I said, just from what I heard, and then I don't know, growing up here, it's not very normal. Like the average person, average American, uh, does not go to the gym. I remember in school, our coach, what he taught was if you're making it to the gym every single day, you're above average because the average people don't do that. I've always kind of felt like it's something more reserved for people who take themselves, their growth, and their wealth, financial and physical wealth, seriously. And then there's, yeah, the people that go all in and make a career out of it. I think that's awesome. When it comes to the average person, though, I don't think that the average American holds it to a high standard.
Oh, yeah. I think I've heard this statistics that says that less than 1% people have like visible abs. And it's
That's
like that is so true here as well. I also like the fact that you were talking about the people taking seriously like their well-being, their health and their wealth, because something I came to realize is that most of the entrepreneurs I know at some point, I'm not saying all, but most, at some point they start like going to the gym or doing crazy thing like running an Ironman or stuff like that. But they always did this performance that they look for their financial assets, for their career, for whatever, they just transpose it into a sports. And I think that it really helps them actually to have a way of pushing. And I really think like it rewires your brain and helps you like go above and beyond in many other life areas.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I don't have anything to add. You said that perfectly.
Thank you. We add another topic, and I think it's related to what we just said is what it actually costs to be an ambitious woman. First of all, like, would you define yourself as ambitious? What does
Yes. What it actually costs, I think one of the biggest things is being misunderstood and not being able to relate to your family as much as you want to, as much as you once did, because person the idea they have of you in their head is something essentially we're trying to grow not out of, but into something else. And
Mm.
they don't fully grasp that concept, being misunderstood, and honestly, kind of Not to sound like depressing, but like a lot of it you have to carry on your own.
That
I
is
don't know.
so true.
Can you relate to that, or do you have a different opinion on that?
Yeah, I will describe myself as well as an ambitious woman. And I think, yeah, it's very true. Like the family, but also other people from my past. I had to put them in my past. Not my family, obviously, but yeah, because like they have this image of you and they will do everything without even realizing. I mean, just like it's not something they do as something conscious that is like meant to be bad for you, but they will always get you back to how they saw you, and they don't want to see you evolve in a way. I don't know if it's because it's familiar for them to see you in that way, and so you are this person in their head, and life is easier like that. But yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
uh, it's called cognitive dissonance, is what I just learned. I've actually, and it's apparently uncomfortable, like mentally uncomfortable for them to process a belief that they once had as not like coherent anymore. It's uncomfortable for
Mm.
them. And I think that that's fascinating. It's a new concept to me.
Mm. Ah, it's funny because I knew about cognitive dissonance, but on other areas. Well, I'm not diving deep into that. I think this can be a topic for another these sessions for sure. Because I know that you love psychology a lot, and that's a topic that I'm also interested in.
Don't we all? Yeah, we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah, 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 like really these facts. And also, I think the environment is so, so, so important in terms of what you just imagine is doable. That if you grew up in like a successful, crazy family, most of us didn't. So you 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 have to change environment at some point. You have to change the people around you. You have to everything around you sets you up for success or at least doesn't get in the way. I think it's the same like for your physical environment in the sense of like if you're living in a messy place, stuff are super difficult to reach and so on, then you're not gonna move fast. You're gonna be like super resistance.
Yeah, I agree. And that itself can be uncomfortable, is actually even just sitting in that and saying, you know what, this isn't serving my purpose. And even being capable of change. Like it takes a lot of inner shadow work, and it's ugly. And not a lot of people can sit in that and truly set a goal early on and say, I'm going to be this no matter what it takes. And then actually, like, day in and day out, put in the work, do the shadow work, do the trauma release to even get to a point that you're proud of.
Yeah, I agree so much with that. One day I sat and I realized that I wasn't the person I wanted to be, and that fucking hurts for a while in my life because I'm just like, obviously, we all have opportunities to sit there and see what happens. And for a while, I wasn't looking. I was just like going up, go smoke a joint, have a party, meet with people I didn't care about or whatever, just to not really like face that. And one day I decided that, well, that was enough. But shit, it hurts. It's like you realize that the person you are not proud of. It's when I really got into understanding like the concept of accountability and being fucking accountable for everything in your life. So you first, but also all you have a power on. And I changed so many things in my life. And it was so difficult in the beginning because this society is babysitting us. Everything is done for us to be easy. You just want to eat shit. You're just gonna scroll through your phone and it's gonna arrive at your place. If you want to eat clean stuff, then you go out. You actually cook it. You have to inform yourself about what it is that you're eating and so on. And that is something that you have to do on every topic on your life at some point, and even like the relationship you have with the people, or you allow people to talk to you. And it's like the day I realized I was allowing people to like walk on my face. Oh my God. You know? That was so difficult. And then I was just like, okay, but how do I change that? I had no idea. And I think that relates so much to the gym and the weightlifting because really this sport is about doing stuff you didn't know you were capable of and pushing yourself through it every single day, every single session. That's so awesome.
Oh, 100%. It's really hard to just to go from, like you said, I totally relate how you said, I realized I wasn't somebody that I was proud of and like how hard that is. I totally relate. And I remember reading a book and I still remember it just stood out to me clear as day. It said, the day that you graduate from childhood into adulthood is the day you start taking full accountability for your actions. And I was like, I took that personally.
The book that made me realize the same thing is the book from Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. This is what this book is about, and it really hit me. I've read many books before on many stuff, and so I think they all primed me to being able to get the message at this point. But this book is about like radical responsibility, and I really loved it. Definitely one of my top recommendations. Yeah, and I think another book I would definitely recommend is also what's the name in English for that? In French, it's Le pouvoir de ne pas être aimé, like the power of not to be loved.
Oh, the courage to be disliked.
It is this one, and
I
it's a
love
great
that one.
book. You read it?
I listened to it. Did you listen to it or read it?
Listen as well. I bought the paper version of the book and also have it, and I've like sent 5 copies to 5 person I really appreciate. Here's like we gotta share the good stuff. We can't grow alone, and I think like some people, we can't do the work for anyone because nobody can do the work for us, but you can like give tools. So that's what I try to do.
You're a better person than me.
It's like that's just my vision of coaching as well because like obviously I have another work. I would say a sales girly in the tech industry and I love the tech industry and I think this allows me to like not being dependable on the coaching when it comes to my main income. And that's great because this way I can decide who I work with. But so my vision of coaching is really like giving the tools to the people when they feel ready.
I love that. I always love that. I need more people. I need more friends that read. That's the otherwise I would love to gift books, but every time I gift a book, it's like I come by and it's like underneath like the bookshelf all dusty. I'm okay, I'm not giving books out anymore.
All right. I think that I would still do it. Think of it. Maybe in like 5 years from now, they move places. And then they're ready to get the message and their eyes is this book. And you made it.
Ooh. Damn. Okay. Okay. When you put it like that, I see the vision.
Planting seeds everywhere. Gonna make this world full of flowers, like super muscular flowers, the unaccountable ones.
Okay, I respect it. I see the vision.
I think that can also be a nice bridge to our last topic, friends and love are pretty close topics. Oh, has your definition of love changed through the years?
I think this topic is so good for us because we've had similar experiences in love. For me, though, I think when I used to think of love, I would think of I'm going to give my all to this person. I'm going to give like every ounce of my being to just, but essentially, like literally just form myself into what I think they want and be like, here, whereas now, I completely I want to stay on the opposite stance of that. And I think the more I give to myself and more I show myself, care through taking care of myself and through just being present and being here and knowing what I feel, what I need, truly just trying to make my energy positive and light. The more I do that, the more I feel I can give to other people and care for other people because like that one saying, you have to fill your own cup before you can fill other people's. I I take that literally now. And you, how has your definition of love changed through the years?
Well, I come from a very toxic environment. So I think like codependency, being the crazy, cheated-headed girl, like I've been that girl. I have to
Really?
admit it. I know it. I didn't know at the time. Like that's how I thought love was because that's what I saw growing up. And one day I realized like most people don't live like that. Well, I mean just like healthy people because I don't think most people are healthy that way, especially in love. But and I realized like healthy people were not living that. I was just like, oh my God. So once again, like what is it that I'm supposed to do? Who is it that I'm supposed to be? And I think it really ties to what you say about being more of yourself. I can really relate to what you were saying into like molding yourself into who you think the person wanted you to be. And also, I think like there is a part of responsibility in the guys there. Obviously, because like if they are with you in the first place for the person that you were and they see you change and they don't tell that to you, that's not love, I think.
Yeah.
But that's like many people are toxic as well, and they appreciate that we're trying to change everything to make them at the center of our world and so they can like use the shit they want out of us. But yeah, radical responsibility is like realizing that we are the one allowing the people to use us. And we're also using people in some way because we
Oh,
get
oh,
something out of that, you know, even if it's like attention, even if it's like toxic attention, we get this. I'm just like when a guy that is toxic and it's like putting a blame on you when creating all this drama and so on. I was just like reliving my childhood. That's what I was getting out of it, you know?
literally.
Yeah. So one day I had to grow up, and I think like today, I don't want to change anymore for whoever. I just want to be with someone who would accept me as I am and as I will be and as I've been.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's poetry. That was
So deep.
poetry.
Yeah. And I'm just like, even think of that when it just let's stay to build to bodybuilding in the sense of my body's gonna change. I'm gonna be like lean to an extent that is like beyond healthy. I know it. Like stage ready, stage lean is not healthy. Facts, you know. And these people will have to still love me at this point and to still find me pretty. And I hope they will because it's gonna be me. And I also think like I love how the camera is
Do
like
you see
you.
that? It's a little trippy.
It's so funny. And also like after that I'm gonna put on weight more than I have right now. And they will still love me hopefully. And I hope that someday I'll be a mom. And so before that, my body will change as well. There will be changes that won't be reversible. So yeah, I really want, well, it's not that I want, I will have. I will have someone in my life that is gonna love me through all that and through all my present and future versions. Past, I don't care because it's the past anyway, so that's fine. But yeah, present and future is so important. The thing that changed also the most is that I am willing and ready to love someone through who they are and who they will be, whoever the that is.
Good point that you bring that up because that's a big part too. I think that such an important thing that not I don't think that I've ever heard it put that way. But being ready to see somebody through who they have been was not something that I was comfortable with even 2 years ago. Like I remember thinking like of feeling all these feelings of jealousy of like somebody's past, and it's like that doesn't exist. And to actually sit and be okay with who somebody's been, and who they might become, and being able to say, I can love somebody through who they've been and understand that it takes that in order to become who they are and who they're going to be.
This
Tough. It's not. I think for me, a lot of my toxic patterns were when I wasn't able to fully grasp that concept that it takes going through hard things and doing bad things and growing from those things to become somebody who you are now.
Definitely agree. I used to be so judgmental about people not being perfect because I've been obviously raised in an environment where I was asked to be perfect by imperfect people.
Oof.
And yeah, and so I've been so harsh on me, but also on the others until realizing being no perfect is what makes it beautiful because nobody cares about perfection. Nobody cares about a perfect physique. What they care is what this person has been through that's put them in a position to become this person now. And so this is where people relate. That's also what makes us human, but that's what I love about someone is that who they are right now and who they will become and how they will do that. I love beautiful things. I would die for aesthetics, okay? And I think there is so much beauty into seeing someone evolve, sometimes struggle and on their own. And we don't have to be here to help everyone. We all have our own path and we can only provide the help that people allows us to. But I think like I want to see someone evolve. I want to see someone become their best version in their own terms. And I think this is what will be perfect. But the actual perfection of this person right now, I just be bored, honestly.
Yeah, you had a good point.
Everybody loves God, but nobody wants to be with God.
Yeah. Wow. Um, I like how you said that. That really stuck with me. You said, I was asked to be perfect from imperfect people. That that part. And I think that's something I'm working on right now is learning to judge myself less so I can judge others less. Because
This really. And that's so
that's
difficult when you grew up in an environment that was like that all the time and normalized it.
that part. And when I hang out with people who don't judge themselves, it's so much easier to just be and not judge yourself and not hyperfixate on is what I'm doing right or just so being around those people has taught me that I want to be like that. I want to judge people myself less so that I can judge other people less and just be and people can feel that calmness.
I love that. Thank you. We should let people let that sink in. So I propose that we end this conversation here and we'll definitely see each other for another one. This show doesn't have a name yet. Help us find a name, please.
Please help us. Yeah.
So like drop something in the comments. Also we're both on Instagram. This is where we're mostly active for now. Help us grow this YouTube community. Drop a name that we could use in the comments. Send us messages on Instagram or being shown here and here for her. You also would be a total sweetheart if you share that with someone, if that resonates with you and you think that can help them as well. Definitely, please do. And we'll catch you on the next one. See you.